What is the fortune cookie message today? Be willing to admit your mistakes. That is a responsibility and an accountability that you take on when you have a level of humility. You know, we are human. We make mistakes. We're expected to make mistakes, grow, and learn. And when we learn, we can evolve to a point where we're consistent within our life and our behavior and our patterns, where we can be mentors, teachers, or just a model of excellence. So being willing to admit your mistakes, it shows growth, maturity, responsibility, and being able to have a sense of strength through that process. Some people are not willing to admit to their mistakes, and many times they try to cover up and try to make it so that someone else takes the fall for their mistakes. And it's because they're not ready to be the person that they need to be well for themselves and for other people. It's unfortunate, but, you know, some people need time to grow up. And some people abuse that aspect. You know, there is time that we give, you know, as a courtesy, as humans, to say, you know, we are here to learn. We are here to go through trial and errors. We are here to live life. And we may make some mistakes. There's a time period for making those little mistakes, big mistakes. You know, when we're young, we have a grace period. Instead of sending a child to prison, maybe they get a warning. Maybe they get suspended from school, depending on their situation and where they made their mistake or where they hurt someone or was verbally abusive or acted out in some way. We give them some grace. Not everyone gives them grace. Not everyone gives all children grace, but there is that expectation that if you're young, if you're, you know, a youth, that they're still growing, they're still maturing, and they need some time to get it together, to make some mistakes. And many times they're not going to admit to it. Many times they don't have that level of security and ownership to their mistakes. And it may take them a little while to grow into that. But as adults, at a certain point, we should be owning up to our mistakes, or we should be owning up to the things that we're doing that are improper or are not kosher or hurt people deliberately. So being willing to admit your mistakes is a level of growth and maturity. And I feel like this is a really good message for today. And Some people may say it may be easy if you are a do-gooder or a person who's always on the right track or a person who doesn't get into a lot of trouble. But I think that people who are constantly looking down on other people, who are willing to admit their faults or to grow and mature and stay there, I think that is more or less their problem and their issue and their insecurity that they reflect and project upon other people. And so that's a part of growth. And even as adults, you know, we're still growing, we're still maturing, and we're still learning. And not all adults are willing to admit their mistakes. There are many adults who are criminals. They don't care. They have bad behavior. They violate people and they get away with fraud or they get penalized for it and never admit to their mistakes. So being willing to admit to your mistakes is a great message and a great way to go about your life as a person who is about truth, honesty, and integrity.